sprayed the threads of the bolts so they go in smoothly, hopefully. Put her in nice and smooth. Just like that. Feels good. Now let's see if we can access the other hole down below. Okay, so we're putting new brake rotors on the front of the Journey today and trying out my new jack. They have like an oily coating on them, and that stops them from rusting and stuff when they're packaged and shipped and stored. But you don't want the oil on your brake pads, so that's what the brake parts cleaner is for. Basically, this just takes the oil off like a degreaser. Powers off grease, oil, and dirt from brake parts. It's mostly this outer brake rotor disc that you want to take the oils off of, and you might wipe it down with a J-cloth or paper towel or rag or something. So I've already got the driver's side done, and I'll take you over to the passenger side. And I'll show you the difference. I think this side is worse because the driver's side wasn't really that bad, but you can see it's crusty around the edge. It's got some minor grooves. It's glazed. Okay, we're about to take this unit in the upward direction. Going up. We've got the back wheel blocked. And you should have your e-brake on as well. Ooh. Jack stand. You always have to use a jack stand, otherwise the viewers will let you know. If you don't use a jack stand, the viewers will let you know, so you better put a jack stand in there. I know it might be hard to see sometimes because of the angle that you're on, but 9 times out of 10 there's a jack stand or I'm not under the vehicle, one or the other. So there's 2 bolts holding the caliper on and 2 holding the bracket. We're probably going to take the caliper and bracket off in one piece, the same as I did on the driver's side. Easiest way to access them is to turn the wheels. Turn the wheels to the clockwise. The rotor slips off, but you have to remove the caliper first. So we're going to have to remove the caliper and bracket together. I think that's the easiest way. There's 2 bolts back here. These 2 here hold the caliper to the bracket, and these 2 hold the bracket to the knuckle spindle. I have a cardboard box here because I'm going to set the caliper on it. So the brake pads will stay in the caliper there, and it should just slip off the rotor, but there is a bit of a ridge there sometimes, or there might be grooves. There's subtle grooves in this one. So sometimes I'll squish the piston, return the piston just a little bit, and that'll take the pressure off, or that'll give you enough clearance if there's a lip. If there's a lip on the rotor. So I'm just gonna squish it a little bit, and I'm pushing, returning the piston a little bit on the caliper. And I can only go so far this way, but it's usually just enough. There we go. And I can see that the sliders are free, which is good. That's part of your brake maintenance. And this gives me just a little bit of clearance to slide it off. I don't want to put a lot of weight on the flex line. So that's what the cardboard box is for. So now that the caliper is off, ideally the rotor will just slide off and you can slide the new one on. But I find that these ones are stuck on the hub a little bit too stuck. These are the old rotors, so I don't mind tapping on them to knock them free, but they're stuck on the hub here. Alright, I had to pound on her a little bit, but here she is. There's a little bit of glazing and grooves in it. There's lots of material on them. They're not warped, but if you have any pulsing in your pedal or shaking when you push the brakes, they can warp. Make sure your hubs are clean so the rotor can sit flush. Apply some WD-40. And the new rotor is like night and day compared to the old one. And it just slips on like that, and it slips on way easier because the old one was on there. There was no clearance, it was so tight I had to knock it off with a hammer. So there's a little bit of clearance, which is good. It's just perfect. So now the only thing holding it on is the caliper, and that can go back, put her back together, I guess. If you're trying to work on it and your rotor won't stay put, sometimes you can put one nut on there just to hold it for temporary. Just like that. And then I don't have to worry about trying to hold the rotor true or hold it straight. And then I can put this back on. I sprayed the threads of the bolts so they go in smoothly, hopefully. Smooth. Oh yeah. Put her in nice and smooth. Just like that. Oh yeah, that feels good. Alright, got the top one in. Feels good. Now let's see if we can access the other hole down below. Then I hit her with the old bing bang boom and make her nice and tight. I'm just gonna go easy and tighten them up equally and evenly, easily. Whew, sheesh. Nice, shiny. I'm just gonna double check these bolts by hand. Got a 24-inch breaker bar here. Give her some ugga-duggas. And I don't think she's gonna go anywhere. Torque her down good. Ooh, yeah. Alrighty. I'm getting my greasy fingerprints all over the shiny new unit, but sure looks like a lot better to me. Yeah, that's for sure. Press the brake pedal one time and we'll return. Since I squished that piston, we'll get it to return. Push it a little bit and then, okay, whoa, let it up. Push the pedal a little bit, let it up. Okay, good. There's a plastic plug missing right here. Everything looks good. I'm gonna give her a quick spray with the rust check, coat, and protect while I'm under here. It's like invisible. It helps when you live in the salt and you have a daily driver and drive it in the winter. So I'm just gonna spray some rust proofing under here while I'm at it, and hit the seams or the spots that get sprayed with salt, and just try to protect it a little bit. Pretty easy preventative maintenance for a couple bucks that'll hopefully stop your vehicle from rusting out if you drive it in the salt. So it's not hard to do it while you're here. It says avoid rubber, so try not to get it on the rubber lines. Okay, I put way too much of that stuff on. Perfect, just the way I like it. Take that jack stand out, the invisible jack stand. And go ahead with the wheel, and I think we're done. Rotors are pretty easy in the fact that on a lot of domestic vehicles, the only thing that holds them on is the wheel and brakes. So once you get the wheel and the caliper off, the rotor pretty much just slips off at that point. You don't want to get rusty nuts syndrome. Nobody likes rusty nuts. Nobody wants rusty nuts. That reminds me of the old WD-40 commercials. I gotta say, the new jack works good. It slides around pretty good in the snow, considering it's probably not meant for that, but it's got big wheels, so it slides around pretty easy, and it's not that heavy. I think it's a hybrid or full steel, so it's not an aluminum jack, but it's still light enough that you can manage. I'm gonna tighten the wheels up in a star pattern every other. And then I'll probably check them with the torque wrench. They'll get torqued to 100 foot-pounds, and then they'll be double checked after 100 kilometers, just in case. Going down, 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 down. So I got the torque wrench here set to 100 foot-pounds, and I'm just gonna go around, same thing, 5-star pattern every other. There we go. I might set her up a little better than 100 foot-pounds. Sheesh. Well, the jack worked pretty good. I've actually used it a couple times now. And I got a gift card for Christmas, so I got it for pretty much nothing, and it was on sale. I like the big wheels because I'm usually out here in the elements.